second.
How are you?
Oh, I get to go to bed.
You want here? Can you sit with me? Okay. Okay, I have to wait. Okay. Oh, it's fine. Alright, room 3, sit in front of the other people. Stand up.
Room 3. Come on, move it. Nicely, nicely.
Alright guys, that's better. Can everybody hear me now? Okay, so did you guys hear who everybody was? No? Okay. We're turning and listening over here. Okay, so let me introduce ourselves again. My name is Sam. Hi guys. Over there we have Callie. We got Jessie. And way at the end we got Shanda. So we are going to be leading your guys' group here today. So we have a couple rules for you guys. The number one most important rule is that there's no running. The reason that we don't do running is because if you want to do trips and falls, we got to stop, patch you up, make sure you're okay. And then we can't do what the number 2 rule is. And the number 2 rule is to have fun. So I know everybody wants to have fun, so we have to follow by the first rule, which is no running. Okay, so every time we get to a different animal location. All right, hold on. I've got 2 more things to make us a mammal. She's waving at all of you. One of them things is that we're warm-blooded. So we are warm inside. We hold a temperature of 98 degrees, where if you see a reptile that's cold-blooded, they go inside. And then the last thing, do we have babies or do we lay eggs?
Baby.
We have babies, that's right. All mammals have live birth. Unlike birds that lay and reptiles that lay eggs. Alright, so those are the 5 things that make us a mammal, right? So what are we?
Mammal.
Good job! Alright, everybody.
I saw that.
Alright, so I am going to go over, there are 6 interesting things about a seal and a sea lion. Indigo. Hi. Indigo. Hi.
Whoa.
So we're going to, and I'll explain what those things do for her. One, you're going to see I'm going to be quiet because she can't yell as loud as I can, right? Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Another feature are their flippers. So she's waving to you right there. That is her flipper.
Hi, dear.
If you take an X-ray of that flipper and then compared it to an X-ray of your hand, it has all the same features that our hand already have. It has all the same bone structure in that flipper that our hand does. Pretty cool, huh? This is how a seal swims with their hind flippers. So that's the difference between seals and sea lions. Sea lions swim with their front flippers like a wing. Seals swim with their hind flippers in a back and forth fan motion. Pretty neat, huh? Yeah. So another thing is their nose. Big surprise there, right? These guys can be found from the tip of Baja, California, all the way up to Seattle. All the way up to Washington. Now, has anyone been swimming out in the ocean?
Anthony, raise your hand.
Is that water super warm?
Zachary, turn around.
No. Their water that these guys usually live in, except when they're all the way down in Baja, is cold, right? So what do you think our water temperature is here?
Cold.
Oh, good job. Yeah, our water is about 55 degrees here. It does fluctuate. In the summer, we'll get a little warmer, just like our waters here will get a little warmer. But it's usually a little bit colder because they're found more in colder waters. The female sea lions usually stay in Southern California down to Baja. The males, outside of breeding season, will travel all the way up. Swallows in your mouth.
All right, my name is David. I'm one of the bird trainers here at the park. We work with all the birds. That includes the penguins, the parrots, the birds of prey, which are hawks, eagles. So what I'm going to ask is that you guys stay quiet for me, okay? That way everybody can hear me. And then if you do have questions, I will let you know when I'm taking questions. So I'm just going to talk about them a little bit, and then I'll let you know when we have questions. And just remember to raise your hand, and that's how I'll pick on you. All right, so this here is Coaster. And Coaster is a South African penguin. So South African penguins are warm climate penguins. So I know most of you probably, raise your hands, who thinks penguins are found in just cold weather? Quite a few. Oh, apparently you guys know better.
They know better.
Well, there is actually 17 species of penguin. Out of the 17 species of penguin, only 3 are actually found in that really cold temperature year-round. These guys being from Africa, they're actually warm climate penguins, so they're used to this warmer climate like we have right now. If you were to take Coaster here and put him in that really cold temperature and snow, he would actually freeze because he's not built for extreme cold. He likes the warmer weather. So Coaster here is a type of bird. He's not a flighted bird, but what these guys, some people say they swim underwater. They use everything the same as a bird does. Like I said, he's a type of bird, so you can see he does wings, and he's also bipedal. Anybody know what bipedal means? No. Yes? What does it mean? I'm sorry? No? Flipper. Well, actually, birds don't have flippers. Even though some people may refer to these as flippers, these are wings. Yes? These guys eat fish. Typically, they will eat sometimes smaller squid, but these guys, their main diet is capelin and herring. Occasionally we get silver smelt. They're just different types of fish. So what bipedal means is it means that they are on 2 feet. So we would be bipedal, we stand on 2 feet. These guys use 2 feet. All birds are bipedal. It just depends the purpose of the feet. So these guys, like I said, do swim. So the purpose of their feet is to help them to propel through the water. So you can see they do have webbed feet, kind of like a duck does. And different types of bird have different types of feet. Parrots have 2 toes in the front, 2 toes in the back, and those are intended so they can perch on a tree branch, and they can sit up there comfortably, and they will use that to hold food in their beak as well. Hawks have different types of feet. Their feet are designed to catch and kill their food, whereas these guys, they use that beak to hunt. And the fun thing about birds, they don't have any teeth. Birds don't have teeth. With these guys, what they have is they actually have a serrated beak. So a serrated beak, do you guys know a serrated knife? The knife that has those little sharp edges? that's how their beaks are. So the reason they have those really sharp edges to their beaks is because the fish are pretty slippery. So once they hold on to a fish underwater, they need to be able to keep that fish, otherwise there goes their dinner or lunch, breakfast, whatever time of the day it is. So that's why they have such sharp beaks. Something else they'll do is they'll do what's called wing beating. So they're really annoyed or angry, and they will do this with a colony. They're very sturdy birds. If they're fighting with each other, they'll bite each other, and the other thing they'll do is they'll wing beat each other. So they'll whack you with their wings, and their wings are actually strong enough to break the small bones in your hand. So very, very powerful wings. Those wings and those feet can actually help them propel through the water. They can swim about 20 miles an hour. Coaster here is actually just over a year old. We do breed our penguins here. So he is still very young, and in places like this, the African penguins can live 25 to 30 years is pretty average. And what these guys will do is they're very different from the emperor penguins, that the males take care of the eggs and the females go search for food. Because these guys are warm climate penguins, they nest near the beach, and what they'll do is they'll collect little pebbles and stuff like that and make a nest, and the males and females will help take care of the babies together. And the way we can identify them, with penguins, there's no distinguishing feature. Males and females look exactly the same. So what we have to do is we do a DNA test. So we get a little drop of blood and we check that to see if they're boys or girls. The boys have a band on the left wing, the girls have the band on the right wing. So that's how we can tell them apart. So as you can see the coloration, as you know, most penguins have that black and white look to them, that tuxedo look. The juvenile penguins, and juveniles just when they're younger, they're not full adults yet, are like this one right behind me, Daisy. You can see she doesn't have that tuxedo look. She's a juvenile, so that means she's still under a year old. She's probably 10 months old. And when she goes through her molting is like shedding for a cat or dog. So when they lose their first set of feathers, they'll actually get that tuxedo look. So in a few months she'll molt and she'll have that tuxedo look like he does. So he actually just finished his molt. And then the other reason their coloring is like this, it's kind of the same like with dolphins, sharks. The lighter belly, so if an animal is underwater and they're looking up, the lighter belly kind of blends in with the lightness of the sky. But if an animal is looking down, the top is dark, so that it's counter shading, so that way it kind of camouflages as well. Yes?
Are those little blues or they just baby African penguins?
Those are juvenile baby or African penguins. Everything in here is South African. They're also known as black-footed penguins. So we only have the African species. But yeah, those are still younger, so that's why they don't look like these ones.
I noticed some of them have pink around the eyes and some don't. Is there a reason why?
The older ones tend to get it. When they're younger, it's not so predominant. But as they get a little older, it's just there's an oil gland there, so they'll actually secrete the salt. With these guys, because in the wild they would be found in salt water, because that's where they would go and hunt for food. We actually have fresh water, so what we do is we supplement them with a salt tab to kind of help replicate that saltiness. But the other thing these guys will do, even though these do not look like your typical feathers that people expect, they are feathers. That's a very distinguishable trait for birds. So feathers are only really found on birds. So even though they don't look that like feathers per square inch, and the reason they have so many feathers is because when they go underwater, they want to make sure they can stay dry and stay warm. So with these guys, having so many feathers, it's kind of like wearing a wetsuit. They stay very dry underneath, they don't get cold. And then they also have an oil gland at the base of their tail. So when they preen or clean themselves, they'll rub that oil on their feathers, and that helps keep them waterproof as well. You have a question?
Can you show one of the other African penguins?
Well, unfortunately, not all of them are as nice as Coaster here. We do breed them year-round, but they're not all super nice. Some of them like to have their own space. Coaster here does like the attention, so it just depends on the individual. They don't all necessarily like having the attention. Yes?
Can we feed them?
Can you feed them? You would not want to feed them. We hand feed them. We have 34 penguins. Like I said, those beaks are very sharp, so you have 34 beaks reaching out for one fish. And a lot of them tend to bite the hand, so we do get bit quite often. Yes?
Why those are emperor penguins?
Well, we actually don't have any emperor penguins. Emperor penguins require a completely different environment. Emperor penguins are cold weather penguins, so for them we would have to make sure we had a cold environment for them. Whereas these guys like the environment that we have here. And then these guys, they do make noises.
Can you make the noise? Come on, you can do it.
No. Well, he doesn't really want to. He's kind of starting there. But these guys, when they make their noise, it sounds like a donkey brain. So for the adults, you know, the other term for donkey, they used to be referred to as that. But well, it's completely up to him. With our animals here at the park, they get very good care, they get fed properly, and we don't make them do anything they don't want to. So if he was to make that noise for me, that's because he wants to. If he doesn't do it, then there's nothing I can do to make him. Just give him some scratch. Oh, do you want to do it? Come on. Can you do it? Can you do it? No, just the start of it. So he is, like I was saying, they're not all this nice. He's one of the ones I do trust putting my face that close. I do run the risk of getting bit if something were to spook him. So, but I trust him pretty good. He's one of the birds that I've actually been training. So him and myself have very good
Look at that one.
Morgan looks a shark. Daddy's favorite.
Step right here. Watch your step.
Not by one of these sharks, but one of our smaller sharks. So it's just like a chicken egg, except for it has a little baby shark in it. This one doesn't. But usually they have little baby sharks in them. And they're called mermaid persons because when they find them in the water, they kind of look like a little person. That's why a mermaid, right? So this is a shark egg. So what else I have is I have a couple of jaws here. They're very sharp. Very sharp. I'll come around to your side too. I'm just going to start over here and I'll come around. So you can see I have different types of jaws. So you see the gray sharks that are swimming around. This is the jaws of them. So you can see Claire. This is Claire, our female sandbar shark. This is the type of jaw that she has. And you can see that the teeth are really sharp. And they have lots and lots of rows of teeth. And this is because the shark will lose lots of teeth over its lifetime. It's not like us, where we lose one pair, and then we grow more teeth, and then that's it. They continuously lose teeth and grow teeth their whole life, which is why they have so many rows. This one is the jaws of a nurse shark. So these guys that are laying down here in the sand, they have teeth like this. And you can see the teeth are not as big. They have a lot more rows, but they're a lot smaller and not as sharp. Her name is Maggie. Yeah, the one with the little dots. And we also have a southern stingray.
Voices off so you can listen.
Some of you guys saw our southern stingray go by. Her name is Isis. She went to the other part of it for her. But Isis has a barb on her that's probably about this long. It's a really, really pointy bone on the tip of her tail that she can protect herself with. And so when she feels threatened, she kind of throws that tail over her, kind of like a scorpion, and the barb will come out and she'll poke at other fish and poke at sharks to kind of keep them away. So, who knows what sharks eat? go with you?
Fish.
Yes, they eat fish. And who's this?
Seal.
Yes, the seal. So this right here is called a food chain, and it shows who eats who in the order of this. So as you can see, because sharks are one of the largest things in our exhibit, they are on the top. So here's our food chain. This is the shark at the top. Fish is down here. Because of the difference in size, the shark can eat everything that's smaller than it. As soon as I see some of the food come down, then I'll start answering questions. There we go. You can see the fish are getting excited, and it's getting the sharks excited. So who has a question? I saw a hand raised here like the whole time. Yes. A game? There's also a movie named Yes.
So if you guys aren't asking a question, you can quiet, please.
Oh. Yes, you have a question? Right here in front. You have a question? Oh, because we feed our sharks a lot more than they're fed in the wild. So they're not even interested in chasing our fish because their bellies are full. Do you have another question over here?
Look at the baby.
Oh, okay, I'll go to this side. Yes. Oh, the six-banded angel. You saw this up here. It's over on this side of the tank right now. We only have one of them, and he's over here in the sand. So you can see him if he comes by. See if you can identify some of these guys that are on top that are down here. Yes. This platform. Oh, this is just a man-made table coral. So to recreate their environment, we had to make some of this coral to look like the ocean. Yeah. Oh, this is sand. That's just sand that got up on the rock. And it's not all sand. It's the look down fish. We have the look down. We have Sergeant Majors, who's the ones with all the stripes. And then the purple one that's always swimming around. Oh, she's on that side. Her name is Beck. I hope you guys have fun. Yeah? Make sure you take care of those sharks.
Stay seated. Listen.
The dolphin doesn't know. Something coming to, uh-oh. Right here, watch this. Wrong way. Ray! Pay attention to this minor. Come on, over here. Off the fence. We're back at school. What? Do you love school?